Welcome back to Winterverse. I'm Andrew, and today I'm playing Zaberias. So I guess we should look at the cover of the game for a second, but these are actually the humans and the guardians, which I played last week. But today I've got the undead and the orcs set up. So we'll get to see all four factions and how they play out. I did a lot of explaining and a lot of sharing my own thoughts in that previous video. So if you want to learn more about Zaberias and how I feel about it, you can check out that video for sure. I have a link in the description. That I'm probably going to try to just play the game, get through it as efficiently and funly as possible. But my brief thoughts up front, it's great for an easy weight entry level style of game. People who want that type of game. It's marketed especially for kids, although I don't think it has to be. It's got a fun, cool skirmish mechanics and theme. And what I really like is all the special character abilities, and they didn't really hold back. I feel like a lot of games hold back on character abilities. They don't want to make them too crazy. Zaberias makes them crazy, which I really appreciate. Downsides potentially being weird form factor and doesn't come in a box, at least this edition of the game. And there are rules ambiguities, especially pertaining to some of those character abilities that I was talking about, but they don't have to be. I think they could clean them up, and hopefully we'll see that happen at some point. But anyway, let's get started. I'm going to do the same house rule as I did last time to see who goes first. Instead of rolling 1 die per faction, I'm going to roll 2 dice per faction to avoid ties. We got 5 for the undead and 3 for the orcs. So I'll have the undead go first. So here you can see their starting setup. They got 5 coins and their starting tower here in this home base space. So basic tower, they can make basic units called the wood tier of units, which are over here. So these are the ones they can build. I think I'm going to do the same opening move as I did for the guardians in the previous game, which is to summon this unit. Every faction seems to have one. It costs 2 gold, which you can see on the back. This is the giant crow, passes over water and units, has 4 movement. So I will pay the 2 coins, and we're going to put this guy in our starting space. There's water right here, but he can pass over it. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up into the gold mine space to claim an extra coin at the start of next turn. And I think let's bring out this one here, the skeleton. So it's just going to cost 1 coin, and it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and we can claim our second wood tower here in this open city. Skeleton costs us a coin. I've got 2 left, and I think I'm going to upgrade my back tower from wood up to the metal tier tower. As you can see, it's got 2 coin symbols, which means it costs 2, but it also generates 2 at the start of our turns. So I think that's pretty much the identical opening move I did. I wonder how often you do the opening moves, because as much uniqueness as there is among the factions, the basic tier units have a lot in common. I think they all have this type of unit. They all have this type of unit. They all have this type of unit, but they also all have this sorcerer class of unit, which does have a unique ability. In my previous video, the guardians had the turtle goo, which caused some issues in that playthrough. But here they've got the dark angel for the undead, which makes a unit fall in love and cannot attack for 1 turn. The FAQ made it sound like it would affect all enemy units, period, not even within range. So we're going to avoid that turtle goo situation. I'm just going to say that that would affect a single unit. And similarly, the orcs have this unit here, the cyclops, who throws a rock and shocks the enemy unit from attacking for 1 turn. But other than that, the wood tier units are the same across the board. So that'll bring us over to the orcs' first turn. And again, for the same reasons, it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to do that same move, because if they come up and claim this gold mine, this character can move in and kill it, very likely. So they just basically be throwing away that mermaid style unit before they even get their income. You know what, let's do a completely different strategy. We're going to skip wood tier for the orcs. I'm going to pay 2 to upgrade this starting castle from wood to metal right off the bat. And our first unit is going to be a 3 coin metal tier unit, the headhunter, and he says that he gets 2 coins every unit he defeats. So maybe we can get some extra gold generation that way. And with 4 movement, he can move orthogonally normally, but diagonally across this road. He only needs 3 movement though to go ahead and set up that second tower as a wood tier. So the orcs only have 1 unit, but it is a metal tier unit. So we'll go back over to the undead that collect their income. They get 2, 3, 4 coins 2 for our metal tier tower here, 1 for this wood tier tower, and 1 because we have a unit at the gold mine. And just for fun, there's a nice angled view of the Orcs play area so far. So when I played with the Guardians, we rushed to a gold tier tower, but that would cost 3 of our coins if we want to do that again. And I'm a little bit scared of this guy now. He's going to be coming in and beating up my small units. So I think I'm going to try to hold my ground and make money. So I'm thinking of moving this unit here, moving this unit here, and that's under the power star, which means as long as there's a unit here, an undead unit, it's going to give all the undead units +1 to their base strength. And I'm going to spend 1 coin on this acid spitter basic ranged unit. It's 3 movement. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. So we are going to keep this. This has range of 2, and I'm hoping that will make it a bit harder for this orc unit. What's it called? The headhunter. Kill these guys? We'll see, because if it comes over here to attack, oh no, this won't get to participate in the fight. Well, I could have put this wherever I wanted, because it was like this. I could put it like right like that, but then it definitely would not help out. If I put it like this, then the headhunter could come this way, 2, 3, 4 movement, and just pick that off. And the 2 range doesn't quite get there. I could move it. I could have claimed that power star. So the headhunter would still have the ability to, no, because now it's range 2. It is within range. And if it comes over here to fight it, it's still within range. And the headhunter can't get to 1, 2, 3, 4, can't get to here in order to pick this off without this being able to help. So I think this makes sense, and the extra power star. So the headhunter can definitely try to fight them, but because of range, this will get to add its strength to the fight. And its strength is up to 3 now because of the 2 power stars. So they would have a strength together of 7 power and 2 dice against 4 power and 2 dice. Oh no, 7 power and 1 die, because the assisting character doesn't get to add their die to the attack. So it's just be 7. So I think that is a nice position. And then with our other remaining 3 coins, I am going to upgrade. We are going to go from metal straight up to gold right here in the back. And again, that back row gold tower is nice, but that does mean we're going to have to be summoning our gold tier units all really far away, way back here. Whereas if they built a little bit forward, and you know what? I'm going to retcon the Orcs turn. I'm going to say that they wanted to build their stronger tier. Oh no, they couldn't because of the sequence of events. I'm going to say they want to build their stronger tower more forward, but they just upgraded before they even built a unit. So they did not have that option. Let's go back to the Orcs for their turn. They'll get an income of 2, 3, but they don't have a gold mine. So 3 coins. And yeah, now fighting this does not look very good. They can go fight this guy though. So it'll be 4 and 2 dice against 4 with 1 die. And I think they will do that. So 1, 2, 3. That'll put them on the gold mine for potentially next turn. And let's go ahead and do the first fight of the game. So it's again 4 with 2 dice against 4 with 1 die, because, oh no, this is 5 plus a die, because there's 2 power stars. Wow. So let me reconsider that. The average die result is 1.5. So 2 dice adds 3. So this is an average of 7 potentially. Whereas this is starting out as a base of 5 with plus 1.5 from 1 die. That's 6.5. So the headhunter is a very, very small margin. But getting 2 power stars is a huge advantage for the undead. The Orcs could try to make a ranged unit and pick off one of these guys without letting the other one join in, which would probably have to be this Energon, which I wanted to build anyway, but it's 2 movement and 4 range, and they'd have to build it here because it is a metal tier. And with only 2 movement, they can get to here. 4 range, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, because this is a diagonal road. Again, I'm pretty sure you calculate range the same as movement. So the diagonal road would let them do 1, 2, 3, 4. And they could attack this guy with no fear of retribution, because this unit doesn't have range, and this unit's not in range to add its strength. And if that attack is successful, that would clear the undead unit off the power star and give the headhunter a little bit easier of a fight. So I think I will do that. So we're going to spend the 3 coins for the Energon. We can take a closer look at the Energon here as well. So it's got the 1 base strength plus 2 dice that will get added when it is participating in an attack, 4 range, which is a huge range, and just a measly 2 movement. And on the back, you can see that it costs 3 coins. And it has that really cool ability, which I was hoping to use, that it can give a friendly unit in its range the ability to move and attack again, which would be pretty nice with a headhunter. But an Energon has to do that instead of attacking. So the question is, I mean, first of all, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're barely in range of either of these. We can either attack here or buff here and let the headhunter attack again. And this is a high risk, high reward situation, because if it manages to win this fight, and then the Energon can activate it again, it can run over here and fight these guys. Actually, it could fight this guy, and this guy wouldn't be able to help because he doesn't have range, and he wouldn't be able to help on the diagonal. So you know what? That's what I'm going to do. We're going to put the... Well, I will go ahead and bring the Energon out. Actually, maybe it doesn't make sense to commit to that yet. Put the Energon back for now. Save our 3 coins. And I will say the rules say no takebacks, but that's not how I play, especially when I'm playing by myself. I do takebacks as much as I want to make the game state how I want it. And even when I'm playing with my friends, I often encourage them to, if I see them like regretting their move, I'm like, just take it back, just fix it. I don't want to play a game where I won because my opponent made a dumb mistake that they immediately knew was wrong. Maybe in like a tournament situation, but if we're just playing for fun, let's just make it the most fun, interesting game as we can. Now, again, this game is targeted at kids, and you might want to teach kids to lock in their moves and take it seriously, and I appreciate that, but again, not for me, not for this recording. So we're going to do 4 and 2 dice against 5 and 1 die. So let's see how these dice come out. Roll them up. All right, so the Orcs definitely won. That was 3, and the Undead rolled 0. So total of 5 from the Undead, all from their base strength with the 2 power stars, and the Orc Headhunter got 7. But as you can see, if they had rolled 2 blanks, for example, the Undead unit would have won even with the blank. So with that done, this unit is defeated. This is considered a Siphon unit, but it works differently from the other Siphon units. The other Siphon units in the other factions, including one of the Undead units, they actually stack their anyone they kill underneath them, and that powers them up. The Headhunter gets powered up by giving you money. So this unit can probably just go back to the board and be able to be summoned again. The Orcs get 2 more money. There is a rule in the rulebook that you can't get more than 6 gold per turn, but I almost wonder if it's more than 6 gold at a time because of the component limitation. And that's how I'm going to play it, but just want to be clear that that's not quite what the rule says. It says that you can only have 6 gold per turn. You can only generate 6 max per turn. We've already made 5 this turn, and if the Headhunter goes off and kills another unit, might get 2 more. As long as I spend it before then, I will say that there's a maximum of 6 at a time, because that's how many coins come with the game. But if we have total generated 7 in a turn, I'm okay with that. So now I will make the Energon. And again, that's going to be down here. Although now I could spend these 2 coins to upgrade this to a metal castle first. But I think I'm okay. So we're going to do the Energon, move 2, and then range 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to give the Headhunter another move and attack. And we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. And attack this little guy. So now he's only getting +1 because there's only 1 occupied power star by the Undead. This guy cannot assist because he doesn't have range and he can't attack on the diagonal. So he's not considered within range of the Headhunter to be able to help out. So the Acid Spitter's all on his own. So 2 dice for the Orcs and 1 for Undead. Again, oh, that's 0 for the Headhunter. The Acid Spitter with the power stars up to 3 strength, but that's not quite enough. If he had rolled a 3, though, he would have actually beaten the Headhunter. But as it is, even with 2 blanks, the Headhunter kills the Acid Spitter. And the Orcs get 2 more dollars, which I think they will spend to upgrade this forward castle into their 2nd metal tier tower. And then maybe bring out this 3/3 unit, the Hunter. Costs just 1 coin. Yeah, I think I like that. So we'll spend 1 on that and move this 1, 2... Or we could send him over to the gold mine. This fight would be 3 and a die against 3 and a die because of the power star, so it's kind of a tie. So we don't want to necessarily risk losing our guy for no reason, so let's actually send him to the gold mine. Let the Undead keep the power star for now, pass back. They'll get 3 4 coins. Fortunately for the Undead, they still have that gold tier tower in the back, but how much is it going to help them? So the gold tier units cost 5. Oof, and they only have 4. So if nothing else, they need to defend this gold tier tower and save at least 1 coin. And the orcs did leave their headhunter a bit vulnerable now. So I think the undead have a pesky move to make. They're going to spend those 3 coins and summon the necromancer, which has 1 strength with 2 dice, 4 range, 2 movement only, and they can resurrect a fallen unit from a previous round in its range. So I have to summon it over here. With 2 movement, we can move it to here. And then with that same 4 distance movement, drawing range, whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where our skeleton died. So now she can resurrect that skeleton and just put it right back on the board. So this mechanic has a bit of a memory issue, but again, I love the crazy mechanics. If this space were blocked, she wouldn't be able to do it. But as it is, you can bring that skeleton back. That counts as her attack, so she cannot attack because she raised the dead. She's of the helper class where they can do a powerful ability, but it costs their attack. And she can use that on any tier of unit. It just so happens that only our wood tier units have died so far. But we saved a coin and we got him way out there. And now I think I'm going to have him fight this orc here because he's getting puffed by 2 stars. So that's going to be 5 in a die against 3 in a die. So that's 1 die each. The orcs actually got 1 more. So that's 6, but the undead got 2. So that's 7. And the orc is killed. Then this unit has attacked, but it hasn't moved yet. Although I think I'm okay with where it is. Actually, let's save that move. I think I will use it. We're going to leave the headhunter alone, which might be risky. But instead, I'm going to send our crow into this unoccupied base and try to destroy it. So you can see at the top of the tower, it has 2 dice. So that's what the tower is going to get to roll to defend itself. But that's going to be 2 dice against 3 strength and 1 die. 3 because, of course, our skeleton is standing on the power star. All right, so 2 dice for the orcs against 1 for the undead, but plus 3. So that's, a big 3 for the orc, or the undead is 6, and then the city only defended itself with a single 1, and it is destroyed. This goes back to the orc board, and when you destroy a city in that city space, you immediately get to build a wood tier tower. So this now belongs to the undead, and I believe based on my reading of the rules, the orcs can attack back and they can kill this unit and possibly even the tower, but they won't be able to rebuild that tower immediately in the same way that the undead just did, because they won't be in this space when they kill it. It would take an extra action to then rebuild the tower. And of course, they're going to have to pay. So the wood tower is free, even though it has 1 gold printed on it, it is free to build. But they had a tier 2 tower. They invested 2 gold into that. Now they're not going to get the 2 income, and they're going to have to pay 2 gold if they want to get that back. So that's why the undead chose to do that and leave this headhunter to his own devices, which could backfire. I think the skeleton still has a move, and I want to threaten this extra gold for ourselves. We're also saving 1. We do have an empty town here as well, but we didn't invest any gold to it. That's still a wood tier. So we'll pass back to the orcs, and they only get 2 income for a total of 3. But the orcs do have their own income, which is the headhunter. So I think it makes sense to move 2. Actually, I guess 3, claim that power star and fight the skeleton. So there'll be 2 dice for the orcs against 1 on the undead. Undead have to get very lucky here, which they did not. So that's an even roll there. We'll kill the skeleton again, and the headhunter gets to claim 2 more coins. Then they're going to move the energon to its maximum movement, which puts it in range of 1, 2, 3 of the headhunter. They'll activate that, so it gets to move and attack again. And it can go 1, 2, 3. I actually don't know, because it entered an enemy city. That might be an automatic forced attack, even though the headhunter kind of wants to kill the necromancer. But I think if you enter an enemy city, it does defend itself. So you do have to do an attack there. So maybe instead, what they could do is go 1, 2, 3, 4. But let's hold off on the attack because we got some money to spend. And we may as well bring out this big vanilla guy. So everybody's got a 5 strength, 5 movement unit with 2 dice. This one's called the Beastmaster. Oh, and these do cost 4, huh? So we got to bring him back here, spend 4 coins on that. And now that we've got some room for more money, we'll have the headhunter attack. They both have 2 dice, but the headhunter has a base strength of 2. So again, the orcs have to be pretty unlucky here. and they were not. They got a 5 against only a 3 for the undead. And with the initial advantage, the necromancer is off the board. Too bad she can't resurrect herself. 2 more coins thanks to the headhunter. It's really putting in work in combination with this energon. Maybe the undead really should have prioritized that. Now the orcs can move this guy 1, 2 out of a potential 5 movement, but they're going to attack the crow here, and they cannot lose because 5 base strength against 2 base strength with 1 die. The most the crow could roll is a 3, which would be a tie, even if the orc unit rolled 0, and then a tie would just be a re-roll. So the crow is dead. Oh no, they do get an extra die because this is the undead's tower. So they're actually rolling 2 dice. So technically we got to give them a shot. 2 dice against 2 dice. So the crow got 2, 3, 4, 5 against 5, 6, 7, 8. So the crow is dead. This tower is removed, but a new orc tower is not built. Again, because the orc unit isn't actually in that space. That space was blocked. They will have to move somebody in there and spend an attack action to rebuild a tower. They have 3 more dollars. And I think with that, they're going to upgrade their metal tower into gold. Which brings us back to the undead, who have nothing on the board except for gold tower and a wood tower. So they get 4 income. They now have a total of 5, which is what they wanted. And now they have a choice between these 2 gold tier units, either the mutant corpse or the skull dragon, both of which cost 5. The skull dragon gives 1 strength to all of your units. He can also fly over water and other units. And he has range 2, a good, nice big movement of 4, and a base strength of 5 with 3 dice. And then because of his ability, that 5 is actually a 6. The mutant corpse can cast a plague on the board he's on, and then an enemy rolls a die for each unit, and any unit that rolled a blank dies. So if your opponent had a bunch of units, that would be great. He's also a bit beefier with 7 base strength rather than the modified 6, but he doesn't have range, and he only moves 3. And he doesn't have the ability to fly over water and other units. So I do want both, but I can't have both. I think in this case, I gotta go for the dragon. It's not quite as strong, but it can also attack from range, which means it doesn't have the potential to lose a fight. It can't lose. I mean, theoretically, we could lose a fight against that headhunter, which would be tragic. But with range, we cannot. As long as we don't stand next to it, we can move 1, 2, 3, which puts us within range 2 of the headhunter, and we can fight it without being able to fight back. So let's go ahead and roll those dice. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for the dragon. So it wasn't going to lose anyway, but it could have lost. And if you lose, even when you're the attacker, you die. So again, range was making sure that would not happen. Finally, the headhunter's off the board. We did spend all of our money as the undead player. I'm only going to get an income of 4. It'd be great if I could just get a 5th coin somehow to be able to bring out that mutant next turn. But there's just no way we can do that and bring out the dragon and kill the headhunter. I guess we don't have to kill the headhunter since it's probably not going to be able to kill the dragon anyway. But it could go after our towers and we can only defend one of them. So I'm going to stand here in this tower to defend ourselves. Pass back to the orc who have no coins, but they get their income of 3 from their newly minted gold tower. Now they're going to have to figure out how to fight this dragon. They're going to have to figure out a way to come back. The farther they move forward, the riskier it is. One mechanic we haven't used yet, or I haven't used yet in this playthrough or the previous one, is the fact that these corner spaces are portals. I think my face might be covering that one there, but these 2 spaces in the opposite corners of the map are adjacent to each other, or not directly adjacent. I think you have to spend a movement point if you're on one to go to the other one, but the portals are adjacent to each other. So even if they stand back, the dragon can still go like 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess that doesn't quite put them into death range. But the dragon can also go over water, so it can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, just like straight across. Actually, I don't think it can land in water. Just kidding, I checked the rules. You can land in water if you can fly. So something to keep in mind. Fortunately, this guy is not in a great position, the Beastmaster. I think I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Claim the power star, have this unit claim the gold mine. I'm gonna spend a coin to bring back this guy, the hunter. I wonder if range is better at this point. Flamethrower instead. The range unit has 2 range. Might be better for fighting a dragon. Go 1, 2, 3, and then build that tower. You know what? Let's try to start swarming the board. I will bring out the hunter as well. 1, 2, 3, maybe. If we still have 3, 4 income next turn, we can bring out a level 5. Maybe I should save a coin just in case we lose this tower, so we can bring out our own dragon or the rhino. All right, passing back to the undead, who gets 4 income. So unlike the headhunter, who is rampaging across our board, along with the energon, the dragon can only attack once. So I guess it makes sense to go for this 4 cost unit. We can probably beat up, and even if we don't with range, we can at least not get hit back. Although, if we are in range of this unit, because of its 4 range, it will get to add its base strength to help defend. And its strength is going to be 2 because of the occupied power space. So if our dragon were here, for example, that would be out of range of their energon, because we are looking at 6 with 2 dice against 6 with 3 dice. So even though we wouldn't die, we don't want to lose. And if we were standing here, for example, we'd be in range of this, and they both get to help defend against this. Like, for example, if I moved to here and fought this with my range 2, because I'm in the range 2 of this and within 4 range of that, all 3 of these would get to participate in the attack. Still don't think the dragon could die because the unit that's actually the main one in the fight isn't within range. These are defending but not killing. I don't know. But regardless, I would want to win the fight so I'm not wasting my action. I think I'm going to do this instead. Let's send our dragon this way, claim that power star, and now he's up to 7 because of his own ability plus the star. 7 with 3 dice against 2 with 2 dice. We could have attacked from range. We could lose this fight and die. No, because the energon is a bigger range than we do, our dragon, so there's no way we can attack the energon without risking dying. I think we have big enough numbers that it's very unlikely. None of these are in range to assist, so let's go ahead and do it. 3 for the dragon and 2 for the energon. Dragon is 7, 8. Energon, we got +3. So that's 8 against 1, 4. So yeah, it's very weak to start out. And the dragon does kill the energon. I'm going to pay 1 gold to bring our skeleton back out again. Oh no, I wanted to do this. 1, 2, 3, and then bring out our vampire. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these 2 could gang up on this guy. Both of them getting buffed by the power star and the dragon's base ability. But one caveat, the vampire cannot be summoned to this castle because it's only a wood castle. Still. So is there another way I can do the same plan? All right, I would have preferred the vampire, but I think I can do it with the necromancer and the skeleton. So the necromancer costs 3 and the skeleton costs 1. So that's 4. The skeleton can move 3. Necromancer can move 2, but she has range of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And they can do what's called an ambush, which we haven't done in this playthrough yet. But I've talked all about these group defenses. This is a group attack. So they are both able to target this guy with an attack, so they can combine their attacks to attack simultaneously. Both of their base strengths are +2. So instead of 1, she's 3. Instead of 3, he's 5. So that's a total of 8 plus 3 dice. So on defending, you only add your base strength. If you are defending for an ally, but in attacking, you can expend your attacks and combine everything. So 8 and 3 dice against 6 and 2 dice. Let's see what we get there. So undead got 8, 10, 12, 14 total against 3 and a 0 is 9. So the Beastmaster is down. Orcs are really running out of units, but that's all the undead can do. So the orcs get to take their turn. They get 4 more coins up to the maximum of 6. Now they can bring out one of their big units. Let's see what the options are. So 7 base strength with 3 dice and 3 movement, the same as our mutant, or 5 base strength with 3 dice, 2 range and 4 movement, the same as the dragon. But their guy, instead of the mutant plaguing guy, the Rhino Rider tramples over wood and metal units, killing them instantly. So if he can move onto their space, he just kills them. He's only got a 3 movement, and he'd have to start all the way back here. So not thrilling right now. The balloon dragon gets to roll an extra die for each time he rolls a 1. And again, this is a flying unit, so his strength can potentially be pretty explosive. I think we need that range. I mean, certainly the slow Rhino Rider is not going to help us a ton. So let's spend our 5 coins. I mean, it might make sense to not summon a giant unit. I don't know if that's the best strategy, but it certainly sounds like the most fun one. Because the skeletal dragon has a range of 2, these units both have a range of 2. There's no way they're going to be able to attack it without them putting themselves at risk. But they can do a combined attack, as we just saw before. So 1, 2, 3. They may as well just move onto the gold mine to claim it. Or maybe they'd rather have this guy, 1, 2, 3, on the gold mine and put the dragon somewhere else. So like 1, 2, 3, 4 is fine. And then they're both within range 2. They can all see and fight each other. They don't have to fight now though. They still have 1 coin, and maybe just bring this guy back out. The hunter, 1, 2, 3, give them a power star to work with here. So that's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, and 4 dice against 7 and 3 dice. The skeletal dragon is in a little bit of trouble. 4 for the orcs, 3 for the undead. Ooh, and the orcs got a ton of results here. 3, 6, 7, 8. Not doing the exact numbers here, but I'm pretty sure the skeletal dragon is out, which means this power star is freed up. These are both moved, so they can't take it. Orcs are out of money, so they can't do anything else, but this guy can still attack. And now the orcs have the power star advantage. This guy's just dropped from 5 base strength down to 3 because the skeletal dragon is gone and that space is empty. So that can be a 4 with 1 die against a 3 with 1 die. And I think the orcs want to push their luck a little bit and go for that 1 pip advantage. And the undead actually pulled it out. 3 is going to make that a 6 against the orcs 5. And the orcs lost the fight that they started, and this guy's dead. That's all the orcs can do, so they'll pass back to the undead, who get $4 more. Ooh, plus they kept the gold mine. They actually get the full on 5, which means they can re-summon the skeletal dragon, but they don't need to, because the necromancer, she can go 1, 2, which is within 1, 2, 3, 4 of the space where the skeletal dragon died. Just bring it right back. Which means they can spend their $5 on the mutant corpse. And with its 3 movement, it's not going to be able to do a lot this turn. But it's fun to have it on the board. And the dragon could now attack somebody. But again, they get to defend. But I wonder if it's better to just fly right over 1, 2, 3, 4 and attack this castle here. So it's going to be 6 and 3 dice against just 3 dice. So orcs are going to have to roll really well to keep this gold castle alive. Actually, I wonder, yeah, these only have range 2. They're not in range to be able to help. Thinking if they had range 4, they might be able to add their strength to the castle defense. I'm not sure, but not in this case, certainly. The orcs got a total of 3 against the dragon's 12. So the gold castle on the orc side is gone. And on top of that, the undead are unrelenting. Wait, are they out of range? 1, 2, 3. Attack that basic castle. 3 and a die against a single die, which means the skeleton cannot lose. Again, even if he rolls a blank and the single die is a 3, that would just be a tie. Actually, it wouldn't even be a tie because the skeletal dragon's giving a skeleton +1. But if it had been a tie, it would just be a reroll until the skeleton succeeds. So this wood tower is broken. That's all the undead can do, but what else do they need to do? They pass back to the orcs, who have no income and no money. And what even are their options? The necromancer has to go because any other unit they kill, she can just bring back. I mean, this dragon is kind of far away. With an income of 4, they wouldn't be able to bring it back immediately that way either. But if they bring their units onto this board, they're just asking for the abomination to wipe them out with the plague. It's only a 1 in 3 chance that you die, but still don't love that. It's actually 1 in 6. So the plague is actually not as scary, but it's still scary. I didn't even remember to use this bombing ability. The balloon dragon's bombs, I don't know if it rolled any 1s. I mean, I think because the skeleton dragon is so far from the necromancer, it makes sense to just try to kill that. So maybe we go ahead and move like this and then do a combined attack. Again, because they all have 2 range, they can all still fight each other. That's going to be 6 and 3 dice against 6 and 4 dice. So I'm going to roll. Let's put this down just so I can put this dice tray here. Let's roll for the skeletal dragon first. So 6 plus 5 is 11. I'm going to roll for this little guy here, the flamethrower. So that's 2 for him. That's a total of 3. And let's roll for the balloon dragon, because again, his 1s get extra dice. He rolled 2 1s, which means he actually gets 2 extra dice. And so we just have to remember 2 here. And that's another extra die. Let's grab another undead die to add to the orcs. All right, so 11 for the undead dragon, but 1, 2, 3, 8, 11, 14, 17 for the orc combo attack. So skeletal dragon is gone again and out of range of the necromancer. I mean, it is, right? I didn't really calculate it. If she goes, because this is water, she can't go there. So she'd have to go 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4 is still 2 more spaces away than she can reach. So the orcs or the undead will have to rebuy the skeletal dragon if they want it, and they won't be able to afford it this turn. But that was both of their units, which means they have to pass back. The undead still do get 4 income. The mutant can't quite get onto the orcs side of the battlefield. In fact, this is a risky space to stand in because they might just get wiped out by this team attack. We can have both power stars, and the orcs are really in trouble because they want to be able to rebuild, but they also need to fight to keep our units down. And now we've got income. All right, I think I'm going to rewind this mutant's turn, and we're going to move them this way instead. The necromancer can move 1, 2, just creeping forward. And I'm going to spend 3 coins. I think it costs 3 coins for the equivalent of the Beastmaster, the Soul Collector. Actually, it costs 4 coins. And this is the 5/5 unit with 2 dice. Put him here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 movement puts him adjacent to the flamethrower. He is also within range of the balloon dragon, who will get to help defend, but on defense, it's only going to add the base power of 5. So it's going to be 5 plus 1 is 6 and a single die against the combined attack of the necromancer and the soul collector because she is within range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And because of the skeleton on the power star, we're going to get 1, 2 plus 5 is 7 and 4 dice. Oh, actually 8 because I didn't count the power star for the soul collector. So let's roll once for the flamethrower, who's going to need a big number here. A 2. I don't think is going to do it. Puts him at a total of 8, which is a tie with the combo of the undead units, which means even if they rolled all blanks, there would be a reroll, and eventually the flamethrower will die. Pass over to the orcs, who can make one last stand with their balloon dragon. I don't even think it can move forward very much because they don't want to be in range of the necromancer. 1, 2, 3, 4 away means she can't quite add to the defense of him, but if she did, that would be a +2, and that would be a 7 or an 8 against this 5. 8 with 2 dice against 5 with 3. So he's got to stay back just out of range of her and kill the soul collector. But that's not even getting him anywhere because A, she can resurrect it, and B, he costs the same amount of money as the undead have in income. He could move to here and attack this wooden city, but then you just get swarmed. I don't think there's a chance, honestly. But maybe the best move is just to move here and build a wooden tower. And if somehow he's able to defend this castle and survive, he'll have 1 income next turn. So that takes his attack to build that castle, which means we have to pass back. The necromancer can move to here to claim the power star. She won't be in range to add to this attack here, just out of range, no diagonals to work with. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4. So she can participate. Soul collector can move in. These are on each other's spaces, but if we want this guy to move in, he can't move through here, and we can't like move it around out of the way. That'd be nice to do like a simultaneous move to swap them, but we're just gonna have to move the skeleton out of the way, I think, so the abomination can come in. I didn't even take my income of 3, 4, 5 because the abomination was here. I'm calling it abomination. It's the mutant corpse, but that's 5 coins, and we can have all the units that aren't our skeleton attack. In fact, we may as well spend our 5 coins, bring the skeleton dragon. Oh, we can't bring it here. Dang it. That would have been fun. 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is our wood tower. And even if we bring it to here and then fly 1, 2, 3, 4, it's still out of range. So anyway, these 3 units will attack. Balloon dragon does get to add to 1s. So let's see. Skeleton dragon helps because it adds 1 to everybody. Oh, and actually, we may as well roll for this first. Almost forgot, the mutant corpse gets to cast a plague and make the balloon dragon roll a die to see if it gets a blank. And it was not a blank, it was a 2. So he gets to survive and participate in the fight. That's 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 2 is 16, and 3, 5, 7 dice. So let's break out some of these guardian dice to add to the undead and see what we get. I might have been a little bit off screen there, but just distribute these however we like. The balloon dragon's gonna need a lot of ones. Gets to roll 3, 2 ones. Gets 2 more dice. Another 1, and a 1, and a blank. So that's a +4. Puts him to 9 against 26. Balloon dragon's dead. Oh, I forgot to roll 1 more die for the tower, but even if it's a 3, that's not going to do it. So the undead win. I think the orcs had a good start with the headhunter. Not sure. Maybe they just left him a bit too vulnerable. They didn't predict the fact that the necromancer can bring stuff back. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying all the crazy abilities of all the units in the game. Necromancer, super fun. Skeletal dragon's pretty basic, honestly, but it's nice just to have a big guy come fly around. I would have liked to use the mutant corpse a little bit more. Exploding dice on balloon dragon is nice, and the energon headhunter combo was pretty satisfying. So anyway, now we've seen all 4 factions. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Subscribe so we can get more subscribers, and bye.